It's episode 327 of The Platformers, a show about games and nerd culture. And I'm your host, Brian Barnett.
And I am the captain now, Kris Cornelisse.
Oh no, he's the captain now. Okay, well,
Not of the show.
I'll be the co-chair then.
Something like that.
Yeah, we'll be
metaphor
switching.
reference. You know how it goes.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about Metaphor, ReFantazio. We're gonna talk about a lot of other stuff. But first, I gotta tell you, I'm pretty amped.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I have not watched the latest game yet, but it's the National League Championships in baseball, and my team is still in it. So far as I know, I've not watched the last game, but Dodgers versus Mets, I'm going to be watching that after we sign off. And I'm pretty excited.
Go to the sports ball.
Because the last time I checked,
favorites to win.
Dodgers won the first game in the series. Mets won the second game. Dodgers won the third one pretty convincingly and then won the next one. So they just need one more win to go to the World Series. Yeah. So I'm really excited. Audrey's team is already out. So there's no contention in the home. But yeah, I'm hoping the Dodgers.
No contention as she sits folded arms, staring grumpily. Yeah.
Yeah. But my cousin came into town, and it's about to be my daughter's birthday, and he bought her a baseball mitt because she didn't have one.
Oh yeah.
And he bought her. So my daughter votes. Jesus Christ.
Votes.
She roots for the Dodgers along with me. And Andrew, my cousin, got her a Houston Astros baseball mitt. I was just like, you son of a bitch. I can't believe you've done this.
Just to really spite it.
Yeah. But, her mom roots for the Astros. That is Riley's second favorite team. So she likes dad's team the most and mom's team's next most, which is fair because the Astros are also my second favorite team. So it's fine.
Makes sense. Yep.
Yeah. But anyway,
I have very little to relate to on the sports ball, except for the fact that, SKT T1 is through to the semis in the League of Legends Worlds, which, yeah.
Gotcha.
Faker gonna faker, as usual.
Yeah.
I don't really pay much attention to League anymore, especially because, I play both Heroes and now Deadlock in terms of MOBAs. I don't have time for League anymore, but I still watch the Worlds on occasion, mainly because I still follow, Faker, SKT T1, because they've been going through forever and they're fascinating to watch and really good, and it's just stupid, the longevity on this guy. Yeah. Seriously. Everyone's been like, he's washed up, he's out, or whatever. No. Faker has been playing consistently as, the world's best player in League of Legends pretty much dominantly for a decade now, and it's kind of absurd. There's no one else that compares in, esports as a whole, aside from Flash over in StarCraft Brood War, because no one can argue that Flash is, fucking the best. And that's without even going into the fighting game players, because this is some fighting game players with that kind of longevity and, quality as well. Yeah, Daigo, Takedo, Justin Wong, all the big, hitters and such. But
Justin Wong terrifying people out there is the Wazzler.
Love that. That was such a highlight of news when that popped up the other week.
That's great. It's great.
I'm going to be rank 1 in every single MVC2, and there's nothing you can do to stop me.
Yeah, it's true. And also, he's been commentating, Tampa Never Sleeps, TNS, MVC2 tournaments. So
that's awesome.
There are new champions rising up through the ranks, people who didn't play back in the day, but who are getting really good now. So there's new challengers and stuff. There's, people destroying out here with low tier teams. You never know what's going to happen. You never know that the meta for MVC2 is still developing right now. It's just
and I mean, I suppose that makes sense when you have a roster as large and mixed as that, especially with the advantages of tag fighters means you always have different shakeups and such.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a game! What a game!
What a game indeed. Speaking of games, we got a lot to.
We do in fact speak of games here on occasion.
And we're going to talk about a few games right now. So
absolutely.
Let's get started with potentially the most important game of this year. Hold on. Wait for it.
Waiting for it.
Wait for it. Hold on. Wait for it. Keep waiting. Here
Brace, brace. There we
Boom.
go. It's the
Balatro
Balatro on the phone.
mobile. So
There is no escape. You cannot get away from this.
I got a key for the mobile edition of Balatro. I reviewed the base game on I think Steam and Switch, and now I'm playing the mobile version. It is just as good as you could ever have possibly imagined. Now, I will say there are two things. There are two little mini caveats that I will give to this.
All right.
And that is, one, it runs slightly slower than it does on like other platforms. So even when you go 4x speed, it's not the same as 4x speed on the other ones. It's still like takes longer to like load in your cards and all that other sort of stuff. I'm not sure why that's the case, but it is the case. And it's
probably just a case of that game has to be like supremely script heavy, right? Like just the way it works and everything. Yeah. So it wouldn't shock me at all that, you know, phones are just not running as many as once. So yeah.
But it still runs very, very well. It's not slow. It's just slightly slower.
You, the veteran of, you know, however many hundreds of hours of Balatro, is able to tell, yes.
Literally hundreds of hours. If you didn't know or you hadn't played that much, you probably wouldn't even know. But I have like I have 540 hours on Steam, and
it just keeps going up, man.
Well, I'm not gonna stop. This game rules.
I get it,
but yeah, I have 539 hours on Steam. I probably have between like 70 and 100 hours on Switch, and now I am working on the mobile version, and I've beaten the game with every deck except for I'm trying to beat Gold Stake so I can unlock the erratic deck. But I've already unlocked every Joker, every voucher, all that stuff. So
I just confirmed you have not just doubled my playtime, you've tripled my playtime. And I have over 200 hours of playtime between you and all the different versions that I know you have. That's damn, son.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, like this is the game to beat for Game of the Year for me personally. And the great thing,
I get it.
The great thing now is that, so normally when I go places, I take my Steam Deck because if I ever run into a delay, if I ever need to stand in line, if there's like a traffic jam or an accident or something, and I'm waiting for, you know, insurance people or the police to show up or what have you, if there's any kind of delay, I don't really want to be bored, and I don't want to rely on my phone or anything like that. Like if I'm going to be somewhere and there's some unexpected interruption, it's really nice to be able to just play games, do work, all that sort of stuff. But now when I'm going on like quick trips, I'm like, I'm good. I have a game, and I don't really play mobile games, but having Balatro is just like, I'm good. Like I'm good.
Yeah, I get you. I'm not a mobile game person. I only have one game on my phone, which will do for that, but I'd usually bring my Switch places when I have to.
Yeah.
And that game being You Must Build a Boat, which is awesome.
Yeah. If you don't have Balatro and you're looking to get it, it is $10 on the store, which is like nothing for how good this game is. Like this is like,
although the fact that it's money at all is like anathema for mobile gamers. It's like, it's not free to play. What the fuck?
It's better than every other game you're playing. Like,
of course it is.
Yeah, I will say, like, this is like along with like Vampire Survivors as like best bang for your buck. Like if you want to spend
100%,
if you spend $15 and get Vampire Survivors and Balatro, you're set. Like
you're good. That'll fill your year.
Yeah, like
your whole year if you really wanted to.
Yeah, if you really want to get the hooks dug right into you. Or you know what? It's $10 is worth it just for the soundtrack. Like just listen to the music.
Mm-hmm.
It's dope. Anyways, that's what I got to say about that. Balatro continues to destroy. Oh, the other mini caveat is, so I have an Android or a Google Pixel 5, and I will. So I used to have an iPhone like 6 Plus or something, and that phone was bigger than this one. And now that I'm playing this, and I've been playing Balatro on the Steam Deck, being on a screen this small is a little annoying, but that really only is a problem if you've been playing Steam Deck or like Switch OLED, stuff like that. But like if you're totally comfortable playing games on mobile, and honestly, it's one of those things where like, once I got used to it, it's like totally fine. Like I've been playing.
Yeah, it's just the adjustment period.
Yeah. There's a little bit of an adjustment to that, but I will say it means that the next time I get a phone upgrade, I'm getting a bigger one.
That's fair. Although now I'm just reminded of a meme that's just like the evolution of phone screens and everything. It just starts as, the big brick phones, and then we just got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And had the tiny little, mini phones or whatever. And then someone's like, you can watch porn on it. Screens suddenly get bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's it.
Yeah. Except that meme, except it's Balatro, and now it's like,
Balatro is now on phones.
We gotta have bigger. We gotta have it bigger. Anyways, that's what I gotta say about Balatro. It's awesome. Check it out.
If you'd like to hear more about it, go back pretty much every episode for the last year or so. We have mentioned it in some fashion.
And we will definitely be talking about it on Game of the Year episode 4.
Oh, yes, we will.
Yeah. One of the
I will say it's
puzzle games ever made. One of the best.
I can't say it's my number one pick this year. I really can't, but fuck, I wish I could.
Yeah. Well, I'll do it. I'll do it for the both of us. So there we go.
And I will fight you on behalf of, Yakuza games everywhere.
Yeah. Good luck. All right. So what do you have?
Well, much of my week as before has been consumed by Deadlock, which I spoke about to some extent last time. But I will mention they added ranked to that game, and they're doing it in an interesting fashion because the ranked queues only open up at certain hours of the day. So it's like certain times of each day you have the competition opens up. On the weekends, it's pretty much the whole thing. But you're limited in when you can actually do it, which kind of means, you get the people going, yeah, all right, I'll pop on for, the ranked hours and only then and just do that. It's just an interesting approach. And then ranks are calculated every week. So right now, everyone is just unranked because the first week won't happen or won't complete until either today or tomorrow. Not sure. But if you play at least 7 games during that week, when the week ticks over, you will then get a ranking. And no matter how many games you play, it's still like affecting your matchmaking rating and everything regardless. But then you'll get a rank next week and that'll, be displayed. And then the week after that, if you played the certain amount of games, that will change again. And it's like, it's an interesting way of doing it. I'm not sure how it's going to pan out, but it's at least an interesting experiment. I don't know if that's just a case of them testing things out while the game is still technically in, early development, or how it's going to shake up. But I just found it a weird way of doing it. And like, all right, we'll see how it goes. And then my first 7 matches, I had a 6-loss win streak, or 6-loss streak rather.
I was about to say, out of the first 7 win streak. How did you do that?
No, I went 0-6 for my first ranked games, and most of them were not my fault. But it's just like, oh man. And then immediately after, like, I won the last one for the 7. Like, cool, that's my day complete. And then the next day, I played a whole bunch and basically evened out. But if there was actual, like, if there were placement matches or whatever, like a lot of games have, then I would have been tanked immediately. And then just immediately afterwards, I'm just like, cool, I am now punching up Bronze League scrubs on my way back up.
Brutal.
So I don't think that's quite how it works, but
yeah.
It was amusing nonetheless to just go through it and just go, yep, loss. Oh, that was like the shortest loss in this game I have ever had. Fascinating.
Well, that's something. Yeah.
That's something. It was a Heroes of the Storm game in terms of how quick they stomped us. It was ridiculous. But Deadlock remains awesome, and I love it, and I can't get enough of it, and please, God, help me.
God help you. Goodness gracious.
It's a MOBA. It's a brand new MOBA in 2024, and I'm enamored by it. I don't understand. I thought the market was done.
Yeah.
I thought the genre was, well, it's weird because, once a genre is established, it is established. There is space for two at best, and then everything else is just kind of on the fringes. Like, they'll still be playing, Smite and Heroes of the Storm, obviously, and anything else like, Gigantic and what have you. But it's gonna be League and Dota in the MOBA space forever. That's just how it goes. It's gonna be League. Yeah, that's what can you do? Those two are just so established, and the player base is so rusted on that.
Yeah,
that's all you can do. But no, here comes Deadlock. It's like, no, we're taking everything we have learned from 15 years of this genre, officially existing. It's older than that, but and just going, and we'll do that, and we'll splice it with a completely different genre, and we'll design it in such a way that they complement each other perfectly. And I cannot, like, I'm in the process of writing up a piece for Versus the Backlog, which you can check out soon, that is basically just looking at a whole bunch of different mechanical design choices that they have done for Deadlock and how fucking smart they are. It's really just astonishingly well designed and made. That alone would be enough to, at least make me look at it if I didn't fucking love playing it. So, yeah. Well, but that's Deadlock.
Yeah. It's good stuff. I have not had a chance to jump in yet, but everybody seems pretty to enjoy it pretty
anytime
well.
You want to, I will run you through it. I'm happy to do so.
Sounds good. All right. Next, I want to dive into shall I do a quick one that's just me, or shall we talk about some of the stuff that you know what? Let me talk about this one real quick, and then we'll get into some of the stuff that we've both played.
Sure.
How about that? All right.
That works.
So I cannot believe that I have not talked about this yet, because it's just been a little bit chaotic with how everything's been going on in my life, including the fact that I was sick for 18 hours of yesterday.
Oof. My condolences.
I was hungover. The worst I ever have been.
Ooh.
I stayed
Well, at least there was a good event to get to that point, I would hope.
That's true. That is true. So my cousin is in town. He's in town for business, but he stayed with us for 3 days, and we just had great talks about philosophy and music and our personalities and what we've learned about ourselves. And we talked about the Enneagram, and we talked about like pop culture and a bunch of stuff like that, and politics. It was awesome. And night before last, we started talking music, and he was like, I need to hear your demos. And so we just sat down there. He'd heard one, but then I played all of them for him. And then I played some of my old band's instrumental stuff that he'd never heard, just so he could see like how I played the drums and stuff. And it was just an awesome night where we were talking a lot about stuff, really bonding, and it was fantastic. We stayed up till past 4 actually. And we went out and got a huge thing of vodka, and we were just drinking. The bottle was like this big, and when we checked the next morning, we were shocked to realize that there was only that much left. Between the two of us, we had like 7 drinks each, and we were both like destroyed the next day. I have never thrown up that much from alcohol. It was wild. So
that's rough.
It was rough.
Hey, it sounds like it was in a good, in pursuit of a good cause. Like that sounds
in pursuit of a good cause. Yeah, and I got to watch some Wallace and Gromit while I laid on the couch, which was pretty good.
Can't go wrong with Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I still haven't seen one of them because I just was like passing out and whatever. But yeah, it was a really good
I
series.
have no idea how many they've done since however long, because it used to be there were just the 3 of them, and
There's 5
that
now.
was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 4 that I have on a collection, and then there's like a movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah, there were the original 3, then there was a movie, then I think there was another one later, then I think they did like a series of shorts or whatever as well, because I remember seeing those on like, I remember my brothers watching those on like, after school television at some point, and they're like, huh, interesting. But
huh,
yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
Either way, Wallace and Gromit is good, as is most Aardman stuff, at least has some level of creativity to it, so.
indeed. But one thing that my daughter and I have been doing while we've been playing games on my Steam Deck is dipping into the Plucky Squire.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Will wanted to be on for this conversation, so we were planning on doing that. Will was not able to be here tonight, so I'm just going to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, we can do a proper dive later once I've hopefully played it as well.
Yeah, but Plucky Squire is a really charming game. I believe it was shown off at like a Nintendo Direct or something. It was.
I want to say that was when it was revealed. Yeah.
I think it was alongside a Ranger or maybe something else. But because there were like 2 games where I was like, ooh, these look really interesting. And this is a game where you play as the main character in a children's storybook. And the villain of this storybook realizes that they are in a book. And he finds some magic that lets him eject the hero from the book and into the real world. Well, it changes the hero, and because of that, he gains the ability to jump back into the book. So he can travel between the real world and the book world. And there's a bunch of stuff. The book is on like the kid's desk, who's reading it. And there's a bunch of stuff like about the kid that is talked about in the story. It's very fourth wall breaking, both literally and
There'd be 2 fourth walls in that one, wouldn't there?
Both
Yeah.
literally and literarily
Ah.
breaking the fourth wall. I hope you like that. But yeah, it's really, really fun. They play a lot in that space, so it's like half 2D game, half 3D game, but also once you get out of the book, you can also almost like Baba Is You knock words out of the book and put them in different places to change things around the environment. And that's how you solve a lot of puzzles and stuff. You can take words and then like turn the pages of the book back and put it in a different place in the story and then go do stuff there. It's super creative. I love it. It's really fun. It's also just absolutely adorable. My daughter loves it. She loves playing it.
Yeah, the art style is gorgeous.
When we were picking out Halloween costumes, she's like, I was like, I'm at the Spirit Halloween, like, what do we want to get? And she's like, I want a Plucky Squire costume. And I'm like, well, they don't have that, but I appreciate it. We'll try to figure something out. But just so you know,
that's really cute.
So it's grabbing the imaginations of kids the house over. I can't speak to other people's kids, but Plucky Squire is a big hit in our house, and I'm excited to play more. So
yeah, it's definitely on my wish list for sure.
Yeah,
it looks super cool, and I love things that are that kind of creative. Reminds me, I still need to go back and play Cocoon.
Oh yeah, you do. It's real good.
Yeah, there's a million things I need to play as always.
Okay, so I know that we have both played Vessel of Hatred for Diablo IV and Metaphor ReFantazio.
That's right.
Do you have anything else that you want to get out of the way before we talk about either of those?
Let me just scroll through my list of Steam games real quick. Nothing massive, but what I will say is that I procrastinated effectively by going through Steam Next Fest and just downloading like a whole bunch of demos.
Nice.
And I had a couple of things to say, mostly about how, I don't know if it's just me, I don't know if it's always been like this, but just flicking through the pages on Steam Next Fest, it just felt like there was a hell of a lot of shovelware this time. A whole bunch of games that are just like, I don't know about that. Or just, it felt like the same feeling I get when I'm, trawling through like Steam's not Steam, the Switch's new releases. And just, yeah, it's just having to scroll through so much stuff. It's just like, this looks really cheap, or, just shovelware, just shoveled out there. And I don't know who is making it. I don't know why they're making it. I can't imagine that it sells that much, but it's like, what is all this stuff? Why is this? I don't know. But it just seemed like there was a hell of a lot, and I had to dig through a whole bunch of stuff in order to find that much worthwhile on the actual Steam Next Fest, because so much of what I was looking at was either, that or, just kind of a mess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But I found a few games that I either caught my attention and I dabbled in, but the one that I really just want to highlight, because this was the one that was like made the whole Steam Next Fest worth it for me, is called StarVaders. With a little star in between Star and Vaders for style. This is effectively, what if Slay the Spire was Space Invaders?
They already got you.
Yeah. I've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire as well, as an aside. Getting to it way too late.
I know you have.
I got to it way too late, but I'm going through it now. I'm trying to beat the final boss, and yeah. But StarVaders is that concept, except it's also Space Invaders. So enemies start at the top and descend every round. That's and all your cards and such will usually, you're a little mecha, and there's a big grid. You can move around this grid and then either, do attacks adjacent to you, or drop things on different tiles, or shoot bullets upwards. And you have to destroy all the invaders before they, get to the bottom three, at which point they charge up an attack which will, do damage to the planet. And that increases your doom counter. And if your doom counter maxes, you lose the run. But then it has typical, all the usual roguelike stuff of, you clear a wave, and then afterwards you get rewarded by a choice of cards and such.
All right.
It's great. Okay.
Can't believe you've done this.
Okay, but like, if it was just the concept, that'd be really cool. But they have different classes of mechs, which have wholly different styles of play. Like, the basic one is you have a heat gauge, and you can which is effectively your energy per turn. And if you reach the max of your heat gauge, you can still use one more ability, which will overheat you and end your turn afterwards, but that card is burnt, meaning it will continue to appear in your hand, but you can't use it again.
Gotcha. Okay.
But there are certain things that can interact with it. And that's just one mech. Then there's another one which is basically all melee and uses energy. And any energy you have spent over will then go into your battery, so you can push yourself for longer on later turns if you really need to do like 7 moves all at once. And lots of little things like that. And one of the energy one tends to be, all melee attacks but extremely high mobility. So you're moving all over this grid, so it becomes kind of like Mega Man Battle Network in addition to everything else. So I'm like, this is awesome. And the visuals are great. The art is really, charming and colorful and vibrant. And the music is a bop. Like, it got in my head immediately. I'm like, ooh, okay. So yeah, StarVaders, 100%. My pick of the Steam Next Fest so far.
So it is unclear whether it works on Steam Deck, but we're about to find out.
I'd be very curious. I think the demo will remain up even after Steam Next Fest. They just had like an extra thing, like a little challenge mode as like a Next Fest exclusive.
The demo is available right now, so I'm downloading it right now on my Steam Deck. I'm gonna find out if it runs, but yeah.
I would love to hear what you think about this game, if it was just me or if it is actually as awesome as I think it is.
I will definitely let you know. That's pretty great. Okay, so that was it? That was it for Steam Next
That's
Fest?
about it, yeah. Okay. Everything else is those 2 games that we're about to talk about. So
Gotcha. All right, where do you want to start? Because I know that we're planning we are lightly planning on doing a Diablo IV Vessel of Hatred spoiler cast, because I know that all of us at the platformers have played it to completion and have
Mhm.
thoughts about it. I don't know, that was actually supposed to happen already, but we've had kind of some wires get crossed a little bit and on scheduling and things. So
People who are busy and or sick, and you may notice that these are only coming out every fortnight at the moment. It's difficult,
yeah.
but yeah. Um, I think we save like a full spoiler cast for when we can actually do a proper deep dive, because there is a lot that we can talk about if we want to go beat through a beat through the story.
Yeah.
Even though it's much shorter than the base campaign, obviously, and a lot of it is also just setting up for what will probably follow. Like, it is definitely the middle chapter, but yeah, we can talk about everything else about it, like the actual mechanics, the gameplay, the new class, the zone, and everything. I say we do that. We start with that, and we talk metaphor after.
Okay, sure. That works.
All right. So, how much Vessel of Hatred have you played?
I am in the end game. So I have beaten the story again. I am I hit max level on my character, and I'm working my way through the Paragons.
Mhm.
Now I played Spiritborn just like I did in the preview build because I loved it so much. I want to try
It's a
out a
really
different
good
build.
class.
In the actually let me make a note of the time stamp real quick just to make your job a little bit easier.
That's always appreciated.
31-ish. There we go.
Ish.
Um,
Ish is good. I can work with it. Yeah, I will mention that I have not had the chance to go back and play it since the review build of it. So I
Yeah.
do have a copy, but I've just been very busy
Yeah.
and
It's
playing way too much
great.
Deadlock.
It is great
It
on
is
Steam
very
Deck.
great.
Um,
Oh, that's good.
yeah, I love it on there. The only thing that is obnoxious is that it requires an internet connection. So like when I'm at my like rehearsal space, I can't play there because we don't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
That sucks. But other than that, which is like a gripe I have about everything, like I feel like you should be able to opt into online stuff and you should be able to play it offline if you want to, but Blizzard disagrees with me, so fuck them.
Yeah.
And I like the game anyway, so
That is just one of the ongoing wars between Blizzard and their players in that. It's just
and reality and entropy. Like the thing that
that too.
sucks about that is like when 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 the servers go offline, which like eventually they will, I'll still be able to play Diablo 3 because I have it on disc and it's on the disc and it's on PlayStation 4 and Xbox Series.
Same with 1 and 2.
And it doesn't
I have
require an internet
my
connection. Yeah. So like the fact that you still require an internet connection on this game, even on like console or whatever, really annoying. I don't like it.
yeah.
I disapprove. That
Yeah.
said,
They try and justify with all the open world stuff and what it doesn't add enough to justify. We know this is the publisher trying to milk season pass sales. We get it.
yeah. And I don't care
But
about any
cut
of it.
that shit
Like,
out.
I'm not gonna do
Especially because they're not good season passes.
Yeah.
Like,
and guess
I,
what?
I
Like,
complain
spoilers,
about this every goddamn time.
Yeah. Spoilers, even if they were, I still wouldn't buy it. I am opposed
Yeah.
to that ideologically. Let me
Yep.
buy, let me just buy cosmetic shit. Don't make me buy the ability to maybe earn it. I'm sick of that. That's garbage.
Yeah.
Anyways.
No, this is just a fundamental thing I have, and this is something I've clashed with a lot of people with over the years. But it's like, I will always oppose games and systems and such that do not just give you what you are trying to pay for.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have a microtransaction, have a microtransaction. I hate that. Still, I think it should be part of the game. Still, but if you're gonna do that, and don't just make me jump through hoops. Don't make me have to grind, level up, whatever the season passes, which are often FOMO related. Like, shout out to Halo Infinite for having you just be able to do it whenever you want and just load in whichever you want. Same with Deep Rock Galactic, which you don't even have to pay for. Deep Rock Galactic just has these season passes. Fuck yeah, Deep Rock Galactic, you rule. Anyway, But yeah, Diablo 4, not only does it have this fucking obnoxious system, but the season pass is literally the worst I've ever seen
It's bad.
because it doesn't have a free and premium track. It just has one single track. And so you as a free player will go, hey, your season thing has leveled up. What do I get? Nothing
Yeah.
until you pay. Okay, what about the next 3 levels? Nothing. Literally not a goddamn thing. And then maybe, like, every out of 10 levels, you get 3 things as a free player, rather than just having a free track. And most will have a free track and they're not great, but you're getting something when you level up and hit these nodes. It's fucking stupid and I hate it. Blizzard, fuck you. Stop that.
Yeah, it's no good.
So, and that is just a thing. I think that more than anything else just sours people on Diablo 4 because there's a lot of negative sentiment around Diablo 4, which that part I completely understand, but like there's so many who just go, it's bad or it's a disappointment or I can't believe, it fell from grace or whatever. And then we're over here doing, deep dives, 4-hour-long deep dive podcasts talking about the story and going, this shit's amazing, bro.
It's good. Yeah.
I don't get it.
And Vessel of Hatred is really good too.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It is shorter. It is more concentrated. There are some missed opportunities that we will get into if we end up doing that spoiler cast on the game. But
missed opportunities. Thy name is Urava.
Yeah, straight up. Which is like, it's unfortunate, but it happens. And so, yeah. But the systems are great. As I said, the Spiritborn, the new class, is really awesome. I love it.
It's super fun to play. Yeah.
I played, so you can choose from 4 spirit animals that you can kind of focus on, and you can mix and match those abilities, but they each have kind of a theme. So gorilla abilities are all about like armor or building barriers up over your health or like knocking people down, like stunning.
Big overpowered physicality and defensives.
Yeah. And then panther or leopard or whatever it is. Jaguar is all about like attacking really fast, doing extra damage, moving quickly, these sorts of things. Centipede is about poison. Like it's all
that was the poison. One I played a lot. Yeah.
I played that one straight. I played straight Centipede for all of the review build. And then in the full release, I played the final one we have not talked about, which is Eagle. Eagle is now my best friend. Friendship ended with Centipede.
That's interesting. Because, like, I wouldn't say it's an afterthought at all, but it always seemed the most distinct of the 4. Like, the other 3 you can kind of mix and match. Eagle always looked at a glance. So, like, you really kind of want to build Eagle specifically. But I might have been wrong in that regard. But as a result, I never touched it that much.
So I actually did mix and match it at first before I settled into Centipede stuff. One of the early things was I did the basic skill with Centipede. So I would poison people and then the third hit would hit like groups. And then I would spend my vigor by throwing like the eagle feathers and they would do a lot of damage. They would, do crits or they would make people vulnerable. And then I would poison them again. It was really great. It was a great way to kind of keep moving, keep progressing through enemies and stay powerful both in the melee and in the kind of mid-range. I really liked that dynamic. When I got to the kind of end game in the review build, the pre-release build, I just went 100% Centipede all the way, just all poison all the time. And now...
And you could do so much with that. Like,
there's a lot of synergy even when you just use those abilities.
Yeah.
It's pretty
because
awesome.
I basically went like 85% Centipede and then a little bit of Gorilla defensive, so I could kind of be like tanky, had a lot of thorns and such going on. And that was my build for pretty much the whole review build. And then I found one legendary aspect that just like effectively broke everything that wasn't bosses over my knee. Because it did the what's the ability? Scourge, where you do like the AoE around you that poisons everything and then fears them.
Yeah.
And then you have like the little aura thing. The aspect I got meant that the fear aura stayed for the entire duration of the ability, which meant with extensions and such, I had 7.2 seconds of anything that gets near me gets feared, unless it's a boss, on an 11-second cooldown. Nothing could touch me.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
That's awesome.
I just rolled through the last quarter of the review period with that.
So on this one, on this playthrough, I played Eagle, and so I was messing around with some parts of Eagle because one of the things that you can do. So Eagle is all about movement and like distance attacks and things. So you can get up to like 5 evades, or maybe even more, like if you have like equipment and stuff, but you can just get a base level of like 5 evades, which is like your dodge.
That's
moving the game.
Lots, yeah.
It's a lot. And you can also get it so that when you evade, it does your basic attack. And so there's also other abilities that you have that when you do your basic attack, when you do the 3rd hit of your basic attack, it gives you back one of your evades. And there's a unique weapon that makes every strike like the 3rd strike of your basic attack, which means you dash, you dash, and you do your basic strike while you are moving, which gives you back your evade.
So you just permanently evade and just go.
Yes, there's a build the build has developed, like, as the community has gotten a hold of it, into like the infinite evade build, and it's so much fun. So you can for I think it was like level 0 to level like 55 or something like that. I literally had 2 abilities on my bar, like the whole game. And it was my basic attack, and then it was I forget what it was. I forget what the other one was. But it was basically like I would just evade, and then I had like another ability that I would use, but I didn't need to use it really, because everything I was
just so you had something to do while leveling up.
Yeah. And I was able to, I went up to Penitent and was playing Penitent through the whole game.
Yeesh.
So, and it was easy. Like, well, it wasn't, you had to be good. Like, you had to be on it. And then when you get up there, and now I'm, unlocking Torment and all these sorts of things, you can go back and get a bunch of other stuff. Because once you get your like spirit animal assigned, it converts all of those abilities into Eagle abilities. If you choose Eagle, which I did. And so now I can pick up guerrilla defensive skills. I can pick up other skills from here and there, like Jaguar skills that give me increased attack speed or give me increased movement. And all of those still proc all of my Eagle skill abilities, which every time you use an Eagle skill increases your critical rate by how much, and so it just becomes ridiculous. And it's so fun.
This
I have not
seems
had
super cool.
I have not played a build this fun since
It's been a while and nothing else.
I want to say like the Speed Acid Rain Witch Doctor build from Diablo 3. It's probably the last time that I was like totally in love with a build like this. Like this, it's so fun. Like it's gotten to the point where like I'm just like, okay, next season, am I gonna go back to Necromancer, or am I just gonna stay a Spirit Warrior? I don't know. I might just stay an Eagle guy. It's so much fun. And the crazy thing is, I don't even have that unique weapon. I'm just doing it with like, without the ability
just
to like
stuff you found.
refresh. Yeah. So it's just like, I'll do an evade. I'll stop in one place, attack 2 times. I'll do another evade. I'll attack 2 times. And it just like, I just keep doing it. And then I have so now I'm calling the Centipede as my ultimate again, which means that when he lobs his poison out, it also counts as an Eagle skill, and he still executes people, which is like the coolest thing. Like if the poison fills up their health bar, he just kills them instantly, which is just so awesome. Like,
that was the cornerstone of the Centipede build when doing the review. It's just like, everything poisons, but then the big boy comes out and just goes, "You're all dead."
Yeah.
Omae wa mo shinderu.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Fucking so much fun.
I love it. And
it's a really good class.
Yeah. The new area is really cool too. I dig it. I always like jungle vibes.
I really like that.
I felt like it was pretty samey up until we got to kind of like the swamp area. And I think that Skazglen was a little bit different. But yeah, it's been a welcome change to go back to the jungle.
Like all the different biomes and such are fine in the base game, but then Hoazar steps it up because it's really creepy Swamp Witch vibes
Yeah.
and just feels really otherworldly, and the music is so creepy and alien. And
Yeah.
so all the cool shit, like all the really cool shit happens in Horazar. It's like,
Yeah.
damn, this is where the game really explores for some shit. And yeah. So that was my favorite. Nahantu is a close second though. This new area is really good.
Yeah.
It's just obviously revisiting the Diablo 3 jungle. That's sorry, Diablo 2 jungle, Act 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Diablo 2 Act 3 jungle. There we are. Got it. Revisiting that's really cool, but it's not just jungle. There are different like kind of mini biomes between it. There's areas where it kind of gets like rocky mesas and such.
Yeah.
And then of course in the very center of it, around the area where, Mephisto was locked up during Diablo 2,
Yep.
it gets really fucking gross.
Yep. He did some
Yeah,
stuff.
he did some stuff. And yeah, it's a really cool zone. There was at least one stronghold which had the really cool concept of, running the torch around. I don't know if you did that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. The one leading to the necromancer place.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. I did that recently.
Yeah.
That was really, really fun. It was like a straight up maze.
It's a maze, and you got to run the torch around and light different areas in order to deal with it. And then the boss requires you to, light the torches around to actually deal damage to it. And on high difficulties, that thing kicked my ass and drove me out. And like, all right, I'll lower the difficulty, but yeah.
Now imagine playing that boss fight, needing to stay inside those torch lights, but having your damage be entirely built around evading.
That would be difficult.
You dodge, like I dodge, and I'm out of the zone, and so I had to dodge back in really quickly. Yeah, that was stressful. I failed on that one, I think once or twice. I had him down to like one hit left, and it just like the thing, I got a little bit too far away from the torch, and like it like fell out or something, and yeah, it was a problem. But yeah, that was really fun.
They have some really cool encounter designs as a result in just like the open world stuff. And yeah, I really like that region, not the dungeon, the region.
And I found the story encounters to be really fun too.
Absolutely, yeah. I liked the bosses that we fought during the actual main plot stuff, particularly the I suppose the mid boss point. He was complicated and cool and such, and then the final boss is. A lot of it is more spectacle and actual mechanics, at least until like the last chunk of it.
It's
but
more spectacle
it is really
cool.
Like
emotion, yeah.
Yeah, but it is still really cool. They do a good job of it, and I won't go into spoilers for that just yet. We're not going to
talk about that. And also, it has, I think, one of the most darkly compelling ending cutscenes that we've had in a really long time.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Although speaking of cutscenes, like the ending cutscene is one thing. That opening cutscene for Vessel of Hatred is genuinely one of the most fucked up and awesome things I have ever seen rendered.
Yeah.
Like,
it's really good.
The cutscene quality war between Blizzard and Square Enix, has just been running for the entire history of the two. But like, I don't think they can compare to that. Like, whew. Yeah. If nothing else, go watch the Vessel of Hatred opening cinematic, and
if that doesn't get you into the creepy vibes, I don't know what will.
Yeah, be warned. Gruesome.
Yes.
Really gruesome.
Very gory. So be careful. But yeah, that's it. We'll probably talk more when Lucas and Will are on the show. But yeah, I mean, Vessel of Hatred is great. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It brought me back to Diablo. I'm also writing a bunch of guides on Kotaku, so if you want to look those up, you can check those out. I wrote a Spiritborn guide on the class, so you can kind of get a feel for what all the abilities do. I've written guides on how to unlock different like kind of end game stuff. God, what else did I do? I've written a bunch of stuff about Diablo. Well, yeah, go check it out. It's on Kotaku.
I will also say that, I actually wrote something, shock horror, on Versus the Backlog about this, which was my impressions for the overall thing. And in that same one, I also linked to Will's impressions over on Shack News, because I thought he covered the story in a really poignant way and went over the writing stuff way better than I could. So I'm like, I'm not going to compare go read his stuff. It's awesome. But read both. It's great.
Yeah.
And Vessel of Hatred, solid.
Heck yeah.
Very good. I'm also keen to see what the next one is because there's gonna be more.
There's definitely gonna be more.
And I'm also curious because there's implications from some of the dialogue in there that it's like, the next one will still be dealing with, the ongoing threat and probably wrap that up. But there's also the implications that after that point, you could finally bring back Baal and, the Big D himself.
Yeah.
It's like, is that going to be a thing in this? Because Diablo 4 could be a platform to just be the last Diablo game and to just keep throwing stuff at this.
Yeah.
Or it could eventually lead into a Diablo 5 when that stuff happens. Who knows?
It could. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
They got me back.
Yeah. I'm like, again, I'm a filthy Path of Exile player, so the moment to moment gameplay for like the seasonal drops or whatever, like the seasons are fine in Diablo, but they don't really add that much compared to how like Path of Exile overhauls it. So that's my go-to in just the general ARPG space. But like anytime a big content drop happens for Diablo 4 and there's more story, I'm going there because that writing is really good. They're onto something.
Yeah, they are. They're doing it and doing it well.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And like, it sucks that it's just mired in all the stuff, we mentioned about the season passes and just a veneer of negativity. And I don't know. Diablo 4 has been really unfairly treated by a lot of people. And yet at the same time, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
And then other times I'm just like, are you not confusing this for Diablo Immortal? Which is vile and awful and apparently got better at some point, but still is inherently fundamentally broken. So yeah. I don't know. Play Diablo 4, play the campaign. Even if you just do it once, it's great.
Yeah. It's good stuff. All right. Let's move on to talk about our final game for the evening. Metaphor ReFantazio.
AKA Persona 6, AKA Digital Devil Saga 3.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
It is Atlas game, the Atlas game. And I say that with as much love and adoration as I can because I love the game so far.
Yep.
Or rather, well, as I said, okay, take that a step back. I don't know if I love the game. I really fucking like the game. I don't know if I love the game just yet.
Okay.
But we'll see. I'm a little further than you are, so I'll let you set, how far we want to go into like actual systems and such. But yeah, I'm not super far. Obviously, it is impossible to get much done this game is probably like 100 hours long.
Yeah.
As you'd expect.
I've heard it's roughly 80 or so.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Again, it has the whole time management calendar progression thing of a Persona game, except it's also like half the length, whereas a typical Persona game goes from April to December and then a little bit of denouement for the next April. Mm-hmm. This one is effectively August to December, but there's no school time during that, so you do a lot more and everything is kind of condensed.
Yeah. Which is one thing I really like about it. I like how condensed it feels. It doesn't feel like there is as much fluff, if that makes sense.
And there's definitely still a bit of it, but like a lot of it at least feels more. It doesn't feel like I'm just spinning my wheels so much. Everything feels like it has a purpose. And and I don't get into the point where I feel like it's going to be weeks before anything actually interesting happens.
Yeah.
It's just, no, there's a few things and I get, interesting dialogue with followers and then move on to the next thing. It's like, moves at a good clip comparatively.
Yeah, I like it. Also, a thing that I am a fan of is the difficulty. I really like
it. Does not pull its punches.
I really like how tough it is. The first boss that you fight is like, I had to try several times to get it gone.
First boss as in like the fort area, not like the first major boss? Or...
oh, you know what? I was talking about the mines, but yeah, I guess at the fort would be the first boss, right?
Yeah, well, the mines works as well, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you do the optional encounter in the mines?
Oh, what was that?
Yeah, have you, how there's a stealth section? You can just ignore the stealth section and fight the monster.
I didn't.
Okay.
I thought about it, but then I was
You
like,
can fight the monster. It is challenging, but it is doable, and you get a really good reward for doing so.
oh, dang it. I figured that I could come back later, but maybe I can't.
I don't believe you can.
Oh,
I'll just say,
yeah, if I would have known that, then I would definitely would have done it. Oh, that's a bummer.
yeah, because that was towards the end of the demo.
Point.
Yeah, so I'll tell you the reward is basically just a really good greatsword, which is better than anything you will get in the first calendar dungeon. Which basically means, Stroll or whatever person you have as your warrior is set for a good chunk of it.
Okay.
It's not anything you can't be completely replaced, but it's akin to beating the demon commander at the start of BG3 and getting the flaming sword, right? It's that.
Gotcha.
It's that kind of thing.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
if you've read my guide on was it? It might have been Game. I think it was GameSpot. It might have been GameSpot or Kotaku. I forget who I read this guide for, but you don't have to beat him to take his.
That's
weapon.
true. That is true.
Get you a Shadow Heart and command drop, baby.
Hell yeah.
Anyways,
good sword. Very good. Carries you through the early game.
I mean,
same is also true in Metaphor. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say that's also something that you can do with the. You can also get a Act 3 weapon in Act 1, but that's a little tougher. But I've also got a guide for that. Hey. Anyways,
go check that out.
Yeah, go check it out. I'm out here trying to help you guys.
Yeah.
Hey.
You've all more of you listening can probably play BG3 or at least thought about BG3 than you have Metaphor.
Yeah, that's
true.
As
a tangent.
But yeah, I cue up the Palpatine meme. Use my knowledge, I beg you. Anyways, we're talking about Metaphor. Metaphor is great. I really dig it.
But back to what you were saying. Yeah, the bosses do not pull their punches.
Yeah. They're fun though, and I like that there are 5 difficulty settings because in Persona there are there 4?
There's at least 3. I don't know if there's a 4.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember how literally just I can't believe that I played Persona 3 Reload, then I played Episode Aegis. Then I was like, I'm going to take a palate cleanser and play Devil May Cry 3, and then I just didn't and started Metaphor immediately. And I was like,
you need to go back and play Devil May Cry. You need to play Devil May Cry 3 at some point.
I'm going to.
I know you're going to, but this is the point that bears repeating.
Yeah. I'm going to. Yeah. That's what I'm going to get to after this, but I also I have a lot more Diablo guides to write up, so I'm going to be up to my eyeballs in Diablo 4 for a while. And then
That is fair.
Then I'll have plenty of time for Metaphor after that to finish it off. I'll probably be I really have to do a lot of this stuff with Diablo, so I'm going to try to take breaks and play more Metaphor before then, but I'm definitely going to finish Metaphor. It's really fun, and I'm digging it.
So far, nothing has kicked me off it or whatever. It's just, time management and or hyperfixation, ADHD brain. I loathe thee. You know how it goes.
But but it does happen.
But yeah, that said, the game is solid so far. I wouldn't say it's like SMT difficult, but it does not pull its punches. And I think part of that is because it also gives you the means to adjust and correct that. Yeah. Because at any point during a battle, you can hit L3 and reset the battle.
Which I think is so
amazing.
Yeah. If you're like,
it just goes
up. I
fucked up. This is going really badly,
Yeah.
Yeah, this is using way too many resources and, I'm on a time crunch or things like that. It's like, I'll try again, see if I can do it better. Really good, really helpful.
It's really, really great.
Yes, but as a result, they're allowed to, not pull their punches. And I think part of it is that compared to how it goes in a lot of different games, your basic attacks don't hit very hard compared to, your skill.
Yeah.
Like,
You really
hitting
want to be
some,
using MP and using your spells and stuff.
which is a limited resource, which encourages certain, shenanigans and such to
Which I
overcome.
also wrote a guide about. Hey,
I'll bet you did, yeah.
check out my Kotaku guide on how to regain your MP in Metaphor ReFantazio, because that trick is what got me through.
Play a maid.
Yeah. I mean, and why? Come on, why wouldn't you? It's the best.
Why
class.
wouldn't you?
It's the best class in like everything. Come on. I mean, he knows me. I'm a wizard. I'm a wizard at heart.
I know. And plus, like most SMT and SMT adjacent games since basically SMT4 are just like, yeah, no, magic is good. Because turns out magic allows you to exploit weaknesses. Weaknesses increase your press turn.
Yeah.
And Metaphor is just straight up. It's like, no, we're just doing a press turn system. It's not any of the, kind of hybridized one more system that a Persona game has. No. It's just good old fashioned SMT press turn. And I'm here for it because I think that is the best turn-based system that has been created for RPGs.
It's pretty good. I'm a fan.
But yeah, you want to exploit weaknesses. You want to use your MP, because even hitting an enemy that is resistant to your spell with a spell will typically still do more damage than a basic attack that does not resist it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of tuning they're going for. It's like you only do that to kind of fill. And so you really want, these abilities, which in turn means certain classes are better than others, I found, as a result. Like, I changed Hockenberg out of Knight pretty much immediately because, yeah.
Yeah, I went back to it, but I had her in Brawler for a little bit.
That's exactly what I did. But I got her far enough to get First Aid in Knight, because that combined with the Mage is broken. That's how I one-dayed every dungeon so far.
Gotcha.
Yeah. First Aid heals for 2 MP out of combat.
Yeah.
And so I just I max out all my health. I go beat things up in the overworld with the Mage to get MP back, and then just keep cycling that. And that's how I managed to stretch out my resources in order to do a single the first calendar dungeon, every calendar dungeon since I've done in a single day. I full clear it every time.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing as well. And it's good. It's nice.
Yeah. It was definitely harder at the start because I didn't start as a mage. I swapped to that, midway through, and then figured that out and like, oh, this is so much better. And then just kept doing it from there.
Nice. Yeah.
But good. I will say, the Metaphor class system is really cool. And there is one thing I want to shout out for it, in that when you master a class, you aren't penalized for continuing to use that mastered class, because in any other game that has any kind of class system, if you master a class, it's like, cool, I will now swap to something else.
Yeah.
Because otherwise all the experience gain and such is now off the table. And that's not ideal. If you have the build proper, you can just power through. That's great. But typically you want to continue to unlock stuff and, have more options. And that is true in pretty much every game. Metaphor finally gets around this by saying, here is a class that you have mastered. You can continue to level it up once mastered. What happens is every bit of job XP you get, every 1,000, you unlock a new rank of it, which doesn't increase its power. It just gives you an item that gives you that class XP to put to any class on any character.
It's so cool.
Genius.
It's
fantastic.
So cool.
You can level up any class without ever touching it. You can just play the builds that you master that work. And so you can experiment, which is good, but it means you're not stuck leveling a shit class that you hate.
And
or not having the tools you need.
Yeah, and you don't have to go anywhere to swap things out. Like you
absolutely.
Can literally you equip your class like you would a weapon. Like it's so awesome. Once you unlock it, you're free. And when you level up your relationship,
you don't get that immediately. You get it very quickly. I think it's like level 2 with more, and then you get the ability to access your archetype menu at any point.
That's what I was just going to bring up.
Yeah.
You can once you have them unlocked in the academia, which is like your kind of velvet room from Persona. You'll have each of your classes that your character has unlocked in your menu to switch to whenever you want. And if you did you have to pick that? I picked that, but I didn't know if I got all 3 of those rewards from more level 2 or if
you get all of them.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, every reward at those levels it's just all of them. Yeah.
Okay. Because it like my cursor popped up and there were like 2 or 3 things, and I was like, this one seems pretty dope, so I'm just gonna click on this. But I couldn't tell if that was like this is
yeah.
all
It's
you
not
get,
it's not a choice. You get all of them. You're just scrolling through it.
Okay,
Not to worry.
That's dope. Because I was like, dude, if you're making me choose, like this is mad convenient. I can just buy stuff with my Magla wherever I am. Sick. Like sick.
I will also say, just as I don't know how far you are yet in terms of everything, but
I just got to the point where they open up your ability to do stuff with your time.
Okay, so you're still at the first calendar dungeon, effectively.
I mean, well, I beat it, and I beat the boss after it.
Right. Yep.
And then we're like back at the inn afterwards, and they're like, okay, you can go do a couple of things.
You have time to kill. Yep.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna spend my time. I don't know if there's like some optimal thing that I need to do, like in Persona. Because when I did P3R, I was like doing all my confidants. I was doing all that stuff. Stuff seems to be, for an 80-hour game, it seems that the relationships are moving a lot faster.
They are, definitely.
Which I like a lot. Like I don't need to meet with somebody 10 plus times to
anytime they pop up, you're basically ranking it up as far as I can tell. You are progressing their story along. It's not like you're just killing time in order to get the chance to do that. I don't think that exists.
Nice.
And they have, like, fairly soon you will effectively unlock world map travel.
Nice.
And at that point, a lot of what those filler meetings would have been will be something that you do while spending time traveling.
Nice.
So yeah, but I will give you and anyone else listening a piece of advice here. You will unlock the ability to cook. Don't use this at all until you get Maria's confident rank thing, follower rank, to rank 4, at which point you can cook once per time period without spending time.
Ooh, okay. Good stuff.
You will, because I did some cooking at the start and I regret that because I found that out and like, damn it, wasted time. So yeah, letting you know now ahead of time, don't cook at all on the world map travel thing until you've gotten the free cooking. And then you get the free cooking and it's great. It's super helpful.
Nice.
Also, you should probably just rank up Maria fairly quickly anyway, because she increases your XP gain. Like, just flat.
Very nice.
So, very helpful.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. Great tips. I can't wait. I'm so excited to play more.
It's a good game. It really is. It's got, I joke that it's Persona 6, but it really is. It just feels like everything the Studio Zero has made has just been, again, progressing gradually towards this kind of game.
Yeah. To me, it feels very similar to like Elden Ring for From Software, where this feels kind of like a greatest hits. Like we've learned a lot from each of our games, and now we're going to kind of bring it together in this new IP. And I love it. I really dig it. Well, I say I love it. I don't know that I love it. I'm really enjoying it so far.
Yeah, I said I had to catch myself earlier because I was like, yeah, I love it. And it's like, nothing has necessarily happened that has made me just completely fall in love with it like I did, obviously, the various Persona games. This is extremely quality. I like what's going on.
Yeah.
I think it's really solid to play. It's just all around high quality, but it's just, I don't know if it quite has that X factor to make me go, oh, yeah. Whereas Persona 5 did with the Kamoshida thing. It's just like, holy shit, this is, you have my attention. And then it peaks early and then kind of peters off. And I still love the rest of that game, but yeah. Whereas P3 is just fucking great. So
yeah, it's, I'm excited to see where it goes. It's tackling a lot of stuff. Like it's getting into like, racial prejudice and things like that. Some of the meta stuff that it's doing, I really dig. And I'm interested to see where that goes.
Yeah, a lot of potential for this to unfold, which so far hasn't been it's been alluded to, but it hasn't really delved into just yet. And I'm curious to see where that goes.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
potentials for massive twists later on. I'm definitely curious to see how they tackle. But,
yeah, we will, and we'll definitely keep you all up to date on the latest. This is a long game, so we're going to be talking about it for a while. And I know
definitely.
that this is some people's front runner for game of the year. It got a lot of very high praise, and I know that a lot of us are also playing this, so you're going to be hearing about it.
Yeah, the bar to beat is still, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, though, and you're going to be hard-pressed to beat that.
Unfortunately, you are incorrect, my friend. The bar to beat is still Balatro, but I absolutely understand how you could be confused about that.
But you aren't a Like a Dragon fan.
Since you also have a third of my time in Balatro, you know what I mean?
And you have significantly less in the Like a Dragon series than I do, so more the same. I get it.
Yeah, I guess you got me. You son of a bitch.
I've played all of them to completion. How many have you? That's right, you haven't. Play right. Yakuza 0,
That's right, I haven't. I'm not going to. You can't make me.
Oh, yes, I can, and you will, damn it. But after DMC3. DMC3 first.
After DMC3. And everything else that I have to do. But anyways.
We will never play all the video games we want to. Life is too short. The video game library is too long, and the backlog is eternal. We pick and choose to the best of our interest.
It's true, and that's what I'm doing by avoiding Yakuza. But anyways.
Yeah, because it's the best. Anything afterwards would be spoiled.
I guess so. I'm just gonna give you that one. All right. Do we have anything else we want to say about Metaphor or anything else before we sign off for the night?
Not at the moment, aside from just the fact that I dig that they put like the whole, the story and everything is completely about racism, and they're putting that front and center.
Yeah.
And I dig that they're tackling that, because that's something that, should be tackled and should be covered. And yeah.
Of course.
Like in the opening cutscene, they throw out the term knife ear.
It's pretty
fucking amazing.
It's pretty good. You guys invented a new slur. Good job.
Well, that's not new. That's been going on in, the internet for a while.
In, like fantasy and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, like I've never. I think that's the first time. Yeah, it's either derogatory or just like a kind of, identifier for an elf in a setting. But
it sounds cool. Like if somebody was like, oh,
yeah, absolutely,
I'm a knife ear, maybe get at me.
But the first time I think that's the first time in any official media that I've heard it used like that. But it's definitely been thrown around on like the internet and such like that before. So
gotcha.
It's video.
But now it's canon.
Now it's canon.
Yeah.
That's what they call the response, as slurs. Go figure.
Which like I mean, I know that this is like the point of racism, but like everybody I've met has been super cool, apart from the people who are being racist. So I'm just like, I don't understand what it is that you're like. It's not like, I don't know. Racism is stupid in a video game or not.
Yeah,
it's like, people are people.
Yeah, and it's like, you especially, because it's interesting. The main character is like the most minority of minorities imaginable, and everyone is just like, you are the lowest of the low, and some people are just fucking foul to you out the gate, and it's like, ooh, I respect that this is the angle they're going for, because this is something that a lot of people, even myself, doesn't experience that much, and then there's people out there who go, no, this is my reality, So it doesn't feel good, does it?
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. It is worth, it is worth abolishing. It is worth demolishing, especially when you throw in the fact that, that is pretty much entirely because of religious schism. So that's an angle as well.
Yeah.
It's a JRPG, church bad.
Yeah. I mean, we all knew.
What do you get? We all knew. Church bad, dragons good. Church bad because they don't let you fuck dragons. That's how it goes. Have you not heard that one before?
No, I've not heard that one before.
Oh, I love that one. Ladies and gentlemen, I just described Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward.
Oh no! Well, I mean, come on, let's be honest. That you also are probably describing Final Fantasy 16 for some people as well.
Yes,
if you
true.
can't, if you don't let me get down with Bahamut, like, what are we even doing here?
And it's also super racist. It's like, Barris, yeah. Religious schism, ugh.
Yeah. You're noticing if you're playing an RPG or watching a horror movie, the church is bad. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Anyways.
Especially Japanese media in general is just like church bad.
Yeah.
And understandable, they have more of a history of that. So, yeah.
You know what's great is when church bad and like historically evil thing good, like in Hellsing, where it's like, oh, the church is bad and like Dracula is good.
Yeah. Or actually, yeah. Or it's just a case of, I don't know if he's good, but he's not a Nazi.
He's not good, but he's one of us. So he's with us. Yeah, he's not a Nazi. You gotta have Dracula to take out these Nazi jets. Did you see that?
Basically.
Like that? Oh God, so ridiculous. I love Hellsing.
Hellsing Ultimate in general. It's just fucking. It's so extra. I love it.
It's so good. Anyways, shout out.
And they also have some of the coolest church characters ever because Alexander Anderson he's
a boss,
what a ball, absolute HK.
When he comes in, and he's like put all the ceiling things all over the walls in like the school building or wherever they were.
Yeah, well, just reciting verses and such, and then just ending on the amen.
Yeah, he's pretty dope, and he holds it. Everybody
Hellsing.
has the coolest pose. Alucard has like his like L7 like box pose. Alexander is like doing the like knives like across like that.
Yeah, the cross knives or just the the arms outstretched, pointed down, and everything, and just
sick. Anyways,
amazing. Go watch Hellsing Ultimate. If you don't have time for Hellsing Ultimate, watch Hellsing Abridged. It's almost as good.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all we got. That's all we got. Let's get out of here. I can't believe we talked about Hellsing. Hellsing is awesome though.
Yeah, it doesn't come up nearly enough, but
it doesn't come up nearly enough. Anyways, thank you for joining us for this episode of The Platformers. You got stuff you want to talk to us about, you can hit us up on social media. You can find me on Blue Sky and Backlogged as Brian Barnett, Brian Barnett. You can find me on Twitter still as Ribnax, Ribnax, and Twitch and YouTube as Ribnax, Ribnax. You can check out the streams. You can check out the VODs over on YouTube. And if you want to see the stuff that I'm doing, you can check out Kotaku, where I've been writing a lot of guides for Metaphor, ReFantazio, and Diablo IV, Vessel of Hatred. There you go. Kris, what's going on with you?
Awesome. I am Kris Cornelisse. You can find me on the internet on most things as Delfeir, Delfeir. My website is versusthebacklog.com. That's vsthebacklog.com, one word. Most recently, you can check out, I actually wrote something for it, shock horror. I wrote Diablo IV impressions for Vessel of Hatred on that, and there will hopefully soon be a new piece that I'm writing about Deadlock and all the mechanical shit that goes on with that, so check that out. And yeah, if you see me on the internet, come say hi.
Delfeir. We got our own slur here at the Platformers.
Well, guess what? It's October, so it could be Delfeir.
It could
Spooktober.
It could be, and it is Spooktober. Happy Spooktober, everybody.
Yes.
If you like the show, give us a review. And yeah, from everybody here at the Platformers, we hope you have a wonderful week and stay safe out there. Because until next time, we are out.
Goodbye.